All right, here I am with the other Singer, the one I got previously. I think it was another $10 wonder, if I'm not correct. And yeah, this is the air pressure foot one. Been running it through all the paces here, and it does the lot. With the Gold Singer, it initially seemed to do the lot just by the needle movement, but then the feed dogs are just bouncing up and down. Long and short of it is this one was missing the screw that was holding the needle and the foot. I've got another foot that seemed to suit this, and I've since changed that out to the Gold Singer, but quite honestly, it doesn't quite fit the Gold Singer. But this is the Gold Singer's foot, and the similar age machine. I figured they'd take the same foot, and by hell, I was right. Whereas the other foot that I've just swapped out onto the Gold Singer, that didn't have enough actual width. Anyway, fabric's a little bit light. There's your zigzag. There's your one after that. I had the stitch lengths turned down pretty low, but that's supposed to be your number 7 there. Yeah, you get the occasional little lump up. Number 8, once again, not the stitch lengths, the stitch width wasn't so good. That's triple zigzag, but of course, stitch length is a little bit high, and the stitch width isn't quite like it should have been there. Yeah, there it is there again when it wants to damn well focus. It didn't go too badly. There's your one after. These are all slight little zigzags amongst a bigger zigzag. Gee, I wish this camera would act normal. You can see there, number 9. What do we got after that? We got number 10, which is this here. It's like a zigzag, but honestly, I'm holding that perfectly straight. You see it waves, whoom, whoom, whoom. That's the way it does it with that one. Now, she got a little bit dicey and stuff, and I probably still didn't have my stitch length turned up high enough. I had it turned down to flipping like 1.5 or something, and it was a little bit too light, and she come out like a bit of a mess, to be quite honest. But that there was number 11. Then we got on to number 12, and that is the herringbone stitch. And I tell you what, this little 2-inch strip took me, I was going half speed because I'm trying to watch the needle to make sure that this is indeed the perfect foot and it's not going to hit the side and smash the needle. And once in another machine I had this shit get caught up in another little adjustment knob, and then it snapped the bloody end of the needle off on me. And you don't see it coming until it goes boom. But yeah, you can see a bit there. Now this is the better view of it. Is that complicated or what? Honestly, I was going half speed, as I was saying, on this machine, and just to do that strip between my thumb and my forefinger, running the engine half speed, it's 2 inches long. It took me a minute to do 2 inches at half speed. I tried to do the next one. She was a little bit too light, so I changed over to this fabric, and then I realised that my stitch length was fairly low, so yeah, and that come out like that. Now, that's this one here, number 13/14. You can't really see, it's written in red. Now, when you have it on a fairly reasonable width, it'll go like that. You whack it back to straight, it goes like that, and it's almost like just like two side by side. But yeah, anyway, that's the basic rundown. All the stitches this does. The Gold Singer, was initially going to do them and decided it wasn't going to. The Wortham, I believe, does them. I haven't really tested the Wortham, but it seems that everything is perfectly moving with the Wortham, which is another one from about 84, 86 or something that I've got, that I've almost very rarely used, but it's got one side of the feed dogs is corroded on that. Very lightweight machine. Surprising how many covers you can get off this Wortham. It was the one that had bad belts, but since been fixed, and then I haven't used it since. But yeah, anyway, that's the device, and even though it's the air pressure foot and the air pressure foot are renowned to be mongrels, this thing is a bloody dream compared to the Gold Singer. But I'll tell you what, they're also a fairly noisy machine, a bit like a lot of today's machines. They just seem to be fairly noisy versus something like your older Husqvarnas and stuff like that. So I'll give you an example. We're still stuck on 14. See, she's not quiet.